Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, my name is Shuck. I obviously make videos for NFL, and I also make videos for NBA. That'll be coming up in less than a month. That is my best sport, so looking forward to that. Um, we'll get this out of the way quick so I don't bore you guys to death. These videos do get posted on the subreddit. It's called DF Sports. Make sure you do check this out because there's going to be news for this slate. There was news last slate that I updated. Really helped a lot. We got news that Amari Cooper was in, and I cored him for tournaments. He was unowned in tournaments. He smashed. It basically made Donovan Peoples-Jones pretty much unplayable for me in cash games, and I didn't like him in tournaments. I told everyone on Reddit, told everyone in Discord that I like Rashid Shaheed over Donovan Peoples-Jones. That worked out really, really well. So I would really suggest checking that out before lock on Thursday. And then if you ever need to get a hold of me privately for any reasons, you can get a hold of me. This is my Twitter handle right here, ShookGo. All right, let's get into the slate. Oh, before we do that, I'm not going to show you my lineups this week because I think I have an MLB sweat going on, and I don't sweat lineups, so I'm not going to click the contest page to see where I'm at. I'm just not going to do it. You guys know I don't like sweating stuff, so I did not have a good day on Monday because I had Nick Chubb and Jamal Williams. But the main slate, I cashed on main, cashed on afternoon, cashed on showdown. So I have only had 2 losing days of the NFL season so far. So that'll be it for the look back kind of stuff. And let's get into this slate for Thursday. And yeah, this Reddit post will be linked down below in the comments. And then that'll also have a link to my Discord where I have cores and all that stuff. All right, let's get into the slate. So I think Saquon Barkley, obviously he is questionable. If he plays and he's not on the limit, I do like him quite a bit for tournaments. Reason being is I don't think a lot of people are going to want to play him. And I think everyone's going to play Christian McCaffrey. And Christian McCaffrey is a phenomenal play. If you can fit Saquon and Christian McCaffrey, I don't know if you can. Sure, whatever. But everyone's going to play Christian McCaffrey. And I think Christian McCaffrey is a much better play. It's not even close. Really tough matchup for Barkley. He's questionable, coming off an injury. I just don't think anyone's going to play him. So I think he's interesting for tournaments. He's involved in the passing game. If he's not going to be on a limit, he's going to play pretty much the entire game. So yeah, I like him for tournaments. Um, Daniel Jones. Oh, if Saquon Barkley is out, that will open up Matt Breida at 7K, who I think would be a fine play. I think would be a little bit overowned. Obviously, it's not Saquon Barkley. It's a really, really tough spot against San Francisco. I think some people are kind of over projecting what the usage will be like for Matt Breida. I don't think he's just going to be a guy that's going to come in and play 70% of the snaps. I just don't think it. If that happens, I'll gladly take the L there. But I think it'd be a solid play just because of the price point. And we'll play a decent amount. I'm kind of like 15 to 20 attempts for him, which is solid at 7K, but it's a really tough spot. I think he'll be a little bit over owned, but if we're not considering ownership, then yeah, he'd be a solid play if Barkley is out. Daniel Jones at 10-2. I like quite a bit, and he's definitely my favorite quarterback on this slate. And the sole reason being for that is the rushing attempts, right? 13 rushing attempts, 59 yards, 43 yards. Just adds such a nice floor. I think he has a much, much higher ceiling than Purdy. So for me personally, I don't really think it's close. It might be close, but I do like Daniel Jones over Brock Purdy. Just with the floor right there, and they're also going to be probably down in this game, so they're probably going to have to throw the ball a decent amount too. So Daniel Jones definitely a pretty good play to me. Darren Waller is my favorite pass catcher on this team, and it's not close. If we take a look at the snaps from last week, he played 61 of the 68 snaps. A really, really good way for PPR scoring for guys like this on offenses like this in tough matchups is to just go with the guys that are going to get those short 8-out passes, rack up targets, rack up fantasy points. Darren Waller is kind of that guy, so I think Darren Waller is my favorite pass catcher on this team, and it's just not even close. And it's also probably the best spot for him out of any of the pass catchers. So I think Darren Waller is clearly my favorite of the pass catchers. We have the other wide receivers. So looking at the snap counts for the other wide receivers, they played a ton. Paris Campbell played 45 in the slot. Hodgins played 51 out of 68. Darius Slayton played 56 out of 68. Already went over Waller. Hyatt didn't play much, but that's kind of expected. And then Shepard only played 10 snaps. So my favorite point per dollar is probably going to be Campbell in the slot for the same reason that I just brought up about Waller. I kind of like racking up that full PPR style of points. So favorite point per dollar, like kind of your safest play is going to be Paris Campbell. I think if you want ceiling, it's going to be Darius Slayton at 5.6. And then if you want probably what will be like the best projected play outside of Waller, it would be Hodgins. I don't really have too many strong leans here. I think they're all just fine plays to me. I think Waller clearly trumps all of them. And then I guess my favorite point per dollar would be Campbell, but no strong takes with any of these Giants wide receivers. I think they're all just like there for me. All right, kicker is always going to be solid values. The defenses, they're fine. I never play defenses, but I'm only more inclined to play them when they are lower owned. We'll see kind of what ownership comes in on them later, like tomorrow or Thursday before lock, but I'm not too high on any of the defenses. Obviously, I prefer San Francisco to the Giants. And then we have Shepard at 1K who played 10 snaps, just a dart for me. And then you have, where's Hyatt? Hyatt at 5,200 just absolutely makes no sense to me. Don't know why he's more expensive than Campbell. Like I said, he played 14 of the 68 snaps. Could see his snap count go up on a short week, but nothing more than just a dart. And then Bellinger. He played 28 of these 68 snaps, was in on 10 pass plays. I think he is a viable dart throw if you need the salary. So that'll be the Giants side of thing. We'll go over captains and stuff. I guess we'll go over some captains on the Giants side right now. So I think Daniel Jones is viable. I'm not too high on quarterback captains on this showdown slate, but he's viable. And if I'm playing him, I think, the guys that I want to pair him with are going to be like Waller, Paris Campbell, pretty much all the wide receivers I mentioned. You can include, I don't think I'd include It's like guys like Slayton, Campbell, Waller, Bellinger, Shepard at his price, guys that you can include with Daniel Jones, and I'm always inclined to double stack with the quarterback captain. If you're going, I think Darren Waller makes for a pretty good captain option. Same thing goes there. I'm going to pair him with Daniel Jones, not in the captain, obviously, flex. And then I think Slayton just for the ceiling, but really, really tough spot. And then probably Campbell, and then Saquon Barkley if he does play. All right, that'll be the Giants side of things. So let's go over San Francisco. I think CMC is your best overall play on this slate. If you're playing cash games, do not fade CMC. Even in tournaments, less inclined to fade CMC. He looks phenomenal. The usage he's getting right now is kind of the same as what it was to last year. Taking a look at the snaps, he played the entire game. Obviously, he's involved in the passing game. Not too many analysis here with CMC. He looks phenomenal even at that price point. Brock Purdy at 9.4, he'll probably get you like anywhere from like 12 to 15 to 16 fantasy points, which it's just fine. But like I said, I prefer Daniel Jones to Purdy. And then we have Debo and Ayuk. So Ayuk is questionable. I believe it's a pain tolerance thing. Limited in practice today. So another thing we have to keep an eye on, I'll go over some if-then statements for Brandon Ayuk in a second. But if it's a pain tolerance thing, I think he'll play. So I think after last week, everyone's just going to play Debo. Kind of what they did this week. A lot of people played Ayuk. They were about the same ownership, I think, if I recall correctly. So if Ayuk plays and he's not on a limit, I'm just going to prefer Ayuk over Debo. But both stand out to me quite a bit at their price points. I think both are too cheap, so I like both of them a ton. I think both would be pretty popular. George Kittle's fine. I think Darren Waller's just a better play. And then if Ayuk is out, what that's going to do, that's going to open up Juwan Jennings, who would be a better play at 4.8. Looking at the snaps for these guys last week, you saw Juwan play 27. You saw Debo play 51 of the 57. Ayuk got limited, I believe, after he got injured, I believe. So he only played 30. And you saw Ronnie Bell play 20. So what that's going to do is it's going to make Juwan Jennings a pretty good value play at 4.8. If Ayuk is out, it's going to solidify more targets and more volume for guys like Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. They would be much better plays if Ayuk's out. And then I think Ronnie Bell would get more snaps at the flat min price. He would be viable. So definitely going to change a lot if Brandon Ayuk is out. Um, like I said, if he's in, the guys I like, we already went over. Juwan Jennings would get a downgrade, would still be in play, but wouldn't love it. He'd just be like there for me. 49ers D, I'm just fine, whatever. Kickers, okay. And then you have Juszczyk at $400 looking at his snap counts from last week. He played 24, was in on 10 passing plays. Another guy, if you need the salary relief, I'm perfectly okay with. And then I think that's it for the breakdown of the 49ers. Let's go over captain. So I'm pairing CMC. I'm probably still going to pair CMC with Purdy. If you're going Purdy, you can definitely include CMC in that group. And then Deebo, Ayuk, Kittle, Juwan Jennings. And then if Ayuk's out, Ronnie Bell. So those are the guys that I'd be more inclined to pair Purdy with. So CMC captain, Purdy captain, and then Deebo, Ayuk. I like Ayuk maybe slightly because I think he'll be much lower owned. Kittle's fine. I prefer Waller. And then if Ayuk's out, I think Juwan Jennings captain is perfectly reasonable. So I think that's going to be it for the breakdown, guys. I hope you guys had a pretty good week, and I will hopefully talk to you guys in the next one.